Happy birthday, Sheba. Alright.
Hello, everyone, one and all, and welcome to episode 32 of Bodied, the Cloud9 Fancast. Tonight we'll discuss the exciting results of the promotion tournament, then go about discussing the NALCS playoff matches, and have a rousing bit of fun answering questions. Everyone likes questions. As always, I'm your host Havokpus, and today I'm joined by...
PieMagicMan.
And Trey?
Yes. Frozencreek, unfortunately, a little bit of a sleepy sheepy. Can't make it to this one. But he's here in spirit.
Pour one out for a
pour
homie.
one out for a homie. So, even though Cloud9 LCS didn't play last week, you guys, other Cloud9 esports were hard at work doing that grind, that hard grind. Cloud9 CSGO went 1-1 against CLG in the ESL Pro League, but that's not all. They were at a little something called the iBuyPower spring tournament. It was an invitational tournament, and they beat Optic Gaming in an exciting Game 2 on Mirage. It was extremely exciting.
Yeah, it's glad to see that our boys can still beat the people, the mean green, but I think we still need a lot of work, for sure. Our team has not looked very solid recently. They still have a lot of the core issues that they had ending last year, so it'll be interesting to see how we fix those. Because with the new coach, that he's had some time to like consolidate the team. I think now they can start really working on improvement. So expect to see that.
Yeah, I hope they can work out their issues. I am glad that Skadoodle is back. He looked like he was playing pretty well, getting a lot of sick sniper shots off. So glad to see that Cloud9 won a tournament.
Yeah, it's crazy. Skadoodle came back looking great, and for some reason, Shroud can only shoot with guns that have scopes.
He is the new AUG god.
Maybe that's the whole thing that was holding him back. He just didn't have a scope, so he could really zero in on his target. Maybe that was why he was in such a slump. Well, anyway, the Cloud9 victory train keeps on a chuggin'. As Vainglory played over the weekend. They were in the finals for week 4 of the VG8, and they beat TSM, probably one of the best Vainglory teams in North America. They beat TSM 2-1, which is really nice to see and very encouraging for our Vainglory future.
Yeah, they were playing on a different level this week compared to the last 3 weeks. If anyone knows, on week 3 they lost the finals 2-1 to Hammers Esport, and this week they completely dominated Hammers in the semifinals with a 2-0, and then to be able to take TSM and play some games like they did in the finals was definitely really good VG by C9.
Yeah, I think I saw, not the final game, but I think maybe the game before that they were playing, and they were fighting and just kicking the crap out of whoever they were playing. It was really fun to see. I haven't watched too much Vainglory, but it's mostly because it comes on like really late for me. But it's really fun, especially watching Cloud9 play, because it's something that's kind of like League, but kind of not. But I'm really glad that they have found a lot more success with this new roster and are continuing to improve.
Mm-hmm. And it's also good to note that C9 only took losses to TSM in week 1 and week 2, barely lost to Hammer Esports in week 3, and then went undefeated week 4. Well, not undefeated, but undefeated in series in week 4. And it was kind of an evolution, because after week 2, we went out like immediately because we played TSM first round. And then week 3 we dominated. Sorry, we dominated Misfits and Gangstars, and then just barely couldn't pull it out against Hammer. So this week we just did really well, and I think it worked out great.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Hopefully they can transfer this momentum on to the rest of the weeks. I think they're. Where are they in the standings right now? Are they second?
They are
Yes.
second.
Okay, I'm correct. So a big win for them, putting them in second. I think that can definitely help them perhaps get to Worlds. I'm not sure how it works, but it'll certainly help.
So I believe how it works is that you have Spring Split 1 and Spring Split 2. The top 5 from Spring Split 1 will go to Spring Split 2, I'm pretty sure. And then I think the top 4 or so get points towards Worlds, similar to circuit points in League.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of how it works.
Okay. Sounds reasonable enough. Hopefully they can keep getting those points going. So, moving on to the exciting results, I guess, of the promotion tournament. Who predicted last week that it would be Team Liquid and Envy? I can't remember if it was Pie or Trey or who.
It was
Okay.
not me.
It was not me
Was it you?
either.
I think we all had Gold Coin United going
Okay.
through.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I can't think of anyone. I thought we all did TL Gold Coin.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if somebody had said Team Liquid and Envy.
It might have been
It might
Frozen.
have been Frozen. Of course, he's not here. But, so the...
May he rest in
May
peace.
you rest.
He can gloat about fantasy, but he can't gloat about this.
Exactly. Well, Team Liquid and Envy are staying in the NALCS. Some may rejoice about that. Some may, shake their fist in anger towards the skies.
It could have been Mad Life. It could have been Mad
You could
Life.
have gotten Mad Life in the NALCS, you guys. United and Gold Coin, of course, lost. It was actually a pretty interesting weekend. I think it was kind of interesting watching Gold Coin because it had like the most of like what a LCS roster would look like, but even then, it just seemed kind of like a really mediocre one.
What Gold Coin looked like to me, and especially during the Liquid series, was that Gold Coin was like a tier 2 C9, where they would have bad early games, but they could pull it out most of the time. Like, not most of the time because they aren't C9, and we have to understand that. And they are a challenger team going up against an LCS team. Don't have the same level of practice. But overall, it seemed like they were really good in the mid game and the late game.
Mm-hmm.
I'd actually disagree with they're a challenger team going up against an LCS team in this instance because literally everyone on the roster has played in the LCS with, okay, technicality Mad Life, but he was in fucking OGN, so it's basically the same thing.
Relegated on CJ. CJ also is currently, I think, running a perfect season in LCK Challenger. I'll have to... Yeah, 14-0 right now. 28-4 game score.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of hype towards Gold Coin because of the big names, Santorin, Phoenix, Bad Life, as well as kind of a dislike for Envy, just based off of Seraph's derogatory comments and other interviews we got. So I think that's where a lot of this hype towards Gold Coin. And of course, they also did really well in the Challenger series, but...
And it's so sad too because they were so close every game.
I was actually really hyped for Gold Coin because there was also the narrative of Phoenix and Loco kind of coming back to play against Team Liquid and kind of show Piglet like, yeah, we kind of left the team, but we're gonna show you that we weren't the problem. And then they get and then they
And
get beaten.
and they nearly reverse sweep Liquid, completing the meme, and then it just goes downhill just barely in game
I was so
5.
ready for Game 5. It was so exciting. Like, they played really well in games like 3 and 4, and I'm like, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna? And then their draft is
They just got
yeah
dumpstered.
yeah, and then they just get completely wiped the floor with. And it's just like, come on, guys, you had like one job. I think I know Pi had some issue with Goldcoin because he's not a fan of Santorin's playstyle in the jungle.
Okay, my biggest issue with Santorin is that it's hard to gauge him. I had more problems with other players, specifically Solo and Mash, but Santorin, for some reason, he's just plays godly out of his mind and he's carrying his team, or he's just the most passive jungler to ever grace the game, and he goes back to being a ward for Bjergsen, basically.
Not even playing for Bjerg, but still as a ward for Bjerg. See, secret ward getting information.
Yeah. Or I guess like a less aggressive rush, if you want to think of it another way.
Rush if he could only play
Yeah,
Ivern.
they could only play Ivern. What'd you guys think of E United? It was actually kind of interesting because they actually beat Team Liquid in the first game of their series. And I thought that was really interesting, especially since they had a lot of Cloud9, Challenger, Shadow Squad members. I think the biggest problem for E United was they were just less experienced. It certainly showed in their macro play. I think their macro play just wasn't nearly as good as the LCS teams. And I think that's where it really hurt them.
Yeah, Gilius also started feeding halfway through each series, which didn't help.
Yeah, and Fox just kind of didn't do much. He just kept dying. And people would just keep like solo killing him or whatever. And you're just like, Fox, come on, man. Stop dying. Please.
It was really unfortunate because I think Broken Shard is a good strategic coach, but like in this situation, they just couldn't pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if they actually were going to end up making adjustments to the team. Like if they're going to drop anybody, who would they drop and who would they look to pick up? Same thing with Goldcoin, assuming they want to stay in the league.
Yeah,
So-
that is an interesting point. Considering if they were to get into it, they would certainly have maybe, I guess, more opportunity for investors and stuff. I think for Goldcoin, they'd probably definitely keep Mad Life because he's a pretty big name. Just name recognition alone probably gets you a lot of points.
See, but what's to say Mad Life doesn't just go to another NALCS team that's looking for a support P1?
Oh yeah, that's also true. Oh, they could pick up Adrian since Adrian's teamless again.
Yeah, Liquid is going to need to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for Gold Coin, your biggest issue is Mash and Solo. Everyone remembers Solo's last season in the LCS, where he was considered the worst top laner in the LCS. And then Mash has always been, he's been like the Chris of ADCs, where he's like just good enough to be LCS caliber, but like he's better than Challenger, but not quite like, he can't make a good push into the LCS.
Yeah, he kind of has that golden glue syndrome.
Is Phoenix considered NA resident?
I believe so.
Was he grandfathered
I
in?
think.
He is not, Santorin is.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Huh. Well, they have the Liquid should be looking towards new ADCs, and I hear this really good ADC. He actually won Worlds in Season 3, is actually possibly trying out for the team.
I don't think Faker's switching to ADC. I don't know who you could be. No, Impact is still on Cloud
He's still
9.
under contract technically.
I don't think PieMagicMan plays anymore.
Bingy's coming back from China.
Oh my god,
shit.
this is so exciting!
Bingy switches to ADC for
No, this is
Liquid.
actually
They drop Piglet and bring back Golden Glue. Win the LCS.
that'd actually be a very, very funny story. Speaking
The ultimate
speaking of
timeline.
Liquid, is it just time to drop Piglet? Like, is this the point where like you just can't support him anymore? Considering, you know,
Well,
I mean, he just seems to like this season at least he's seemed to really be like a liability for the team because like he when he was playing at ADC, it was in such a meta where he literally could do nothing and then he would just be dying and everything. And then you switch him over to mid, which is like an off role, and he's been doing okay.
you switch him to mid right as the ADC meta changes, and then you lock your roster so you literally can't do anything else. It made me so mad that they did this because like there was no reason.
Yeah, it was really just like this weird. I still kind of don't get it because like, well, yeah, it's not his meta, but shouldn't he just kind of like stick it out or maybe even just kind of learn how to play Jhin and Varus a little bit more than, you know, sitting on his hands waiting like maybe they'll buff Lucian again, maybe Lucian will come back, and then when Lucian does come back, it's like, oh well, now I have to play Ahri.
Now I have to send us to relegation through realm warp. Bleh. But I think they have to try one more split with Piglet. Because I don't think his contract runs out until the end of this year. I think you bring Golden Glue back. He's been practicing in Korea. He seems to be motivated.
Yeah, I for sure think Golden Glue should come back.
Bring Golden Glue back. You put Piglet back at ADC. You start trying to get some team cohesion, and you keep the roster the same at least for 4 weeks, and then see where they're at.
That makes a lot of sense. I can totally get behind that. I think that the most they'll probably have to work on is with Matt, because he seems to just his play, especially within the last few weeks of LCS, has just been like really not good.
And then they lost Adrian, so
so it's like, well, now we have Matt still, but which I think is fine because he has like, you know, a lot of synergy built up and he knows how his team plays, but it's still like, if you're not playing well, synergy doesn't mean anything.
Well, I think do they have, because the only sub AD I think they had was Young Ben.
I think so, yeah. And then they got rid of him when they borrowed Double Lift.
I think he's still a sub for them, though.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it happens. I think it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'll for sure. I also want to kind of keep an eye on Envy to see if they'll actually like get rid of like Seraph and Ninja.
No way.
You don't think so?
They've like put so much into them.
I think Seraph is the core of their team. The thing is, Seraph is Godfather's in, right?
Yes.
Maybe they get rid of Ninja. But if they get rid of Ninja, I think they get rid of Apollo and Hakuho. And they just re-roll their roster out because Seraph and Lyra, that only takes up one import spot. You can take... There are a couple good mids that you could possibly bring in. You could also import. And then there are some good ADCs out on the market right now. You want to look at, especially people from like the Challenger series, who now either may be looking for new opportunities. Like we said, Adrian's looking for a team. I think if they could get an ADC, like, I wouldn't say Mash. Mash isn't that good. Deftly is a good, like, nobody really knows who he is,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Like watching E United definitely was actually putting in some pretty good work. Like he was definitely he was definitely trying his hardest.
I actually disagree with you on the part that they need to change their bot lane. I actually thought their bot lane was looking a lot stronger than the top and mid. So, like Apollo he's always been like he's been a mid tier ADC after he changed from Wiz Fusion. And Hakuo, like his start on Renegades is kind of rough, but he's definitely grown as a support and become like pretty decent. I don't see why they would need to switch up their bot lane, especially like not Mash, because Apollo dumpstered Mash in lane every single game, and then
oh well, yeah, I
yeah,
understand that. I'm just saying, like, if you have options, look for them, cause this team clearly isn't working, and you're putting a lot of money into this team.
I think one of the owners, or I guess the owner, or maybe the coach for Envy said that they're not going to get rid of Hakuho, which I kind of agree with. I think he's fine. I think him and Lyra, at least in the promotion tournament, they were probably the ones putting in the most work for their matches to make sure that Envy wins. I think definitely maybe look towards new ADC or new mid laner. That's probably a really good point to start. But I think Lyra and Hakuho at least are fine.
Yeah, and I think because if you get rid of Ninja, you get rid of an import slot, and then from there, you can actually just go pick up like a Korean mid laner.
Yeah.
And Lyra and Sarah and like, let me look at Korean mid laners right now that could be open.
there's that one mid laner in Korean solo queue, Golden Glue.
Hey, dude, be careful. I heard he was bought by Liquid.
The sickest of imports.
Golden Glue is my favorite
He's
import.
such an import that he was exported first.
Truly counter logic.
Truly.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Wrong team.
I could have sworn there was a mid laner, like a big Korean mid laner who didn't go to a team, and I just can't remember the name.
I'm not well informed on the Korean scene, so I'm not sure.
I don't think Adpo wants to play pro, especially in NA.
Apta, no, he wouldn't. But I don't know. I think you look for your options, try and get a new mid laner, or just try and bring in a sub, and maybe try and do a 6-man roster, and have Ninja focus on like certain champs that he can outplay with, right? And then try to create like a dynamic duo type thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I will say I think the potential for Envy is there. I mean, Zyrene did come out and tweet out a stat saying at 20 minutes Envy was like the top team in the LCS in terms of like gold or whatever.
The thing is, if they don't end up changing this team is a good team still. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, they're incredibly talented pre-20 minutes. They just need to work on their late game. It seems like they have a lot of coordination issues once they get out of lane.
Yeah, like, kind of like the reverse of Cloud9. They have, like, really good early game, but then as soon as it goes to mid to late, they just fall apart, while Cloud9 has to, like, they have to warm up first.
And that could be, like, a lot of things, including language barriers. But
yeah,
who
potentially.
knows?
It's like a lot like Impulse was. Like they're like everyone was pretty mechanically strong, and they would just play super full on solo queue style, but they were so aggressive that they could just snowball the games. But unfortunately, for Envy at least, the game is a lot more teamwork based. So like, you can't just solo queue style your way to the win anymore, and if they definitely work on their teamwork, and Ninja works on not dying all the time, then they could they can definitely do a lot better than 10th place this upcoming split.
Long gone are the days of Xiao Wei Xiao and LMQ.
Maybe Xiao will return one day, but we'll never truly know.
He's unbanned. I think last we saw he was playing in Chinese
Oh,
Challenger.
okay, that's cool.
As long as he doesn't use steroids like Vasily.
Vasily crushing the keyboard.
All right, well, I think we've talked about the promotion tournament long enough. It was certainly an interesting weekend with no changes to the teams, but it was fun. So before we go to the playoffs, just want to touch on 7.6 since that's the patch that's going to be played on. Galio is disabled, so no team's going to have to worry about that potentially slipping by or having to make a strategy to counter that. Gnar did get some buffs. There was also less MR on red buff, so that could be a sign to help AP junglers a little bit more. I think the only nerf I saw was Camille, as well as there being some interesting changes like Misfortune's kit going more towards being crit focused, Warlord's now scaling and healing with total AD instead of lifesteal. And I thought this one was actually just kind of interesting. If you shield someone with an Orianna ball and they die, the ball stays in place instead of snapping back to her. So I just thought that was kind of a neat touch that they did. But other than that, it's like very small, minor changes and tweaks, so nothing too huge actually.
Yeah, I think this allows for like the full dive Maokai comps or like the full dive Nautilus comps, where it's just like you flash in a hook alt, like the the Orianna ball is on you, and you know you're going to die, but like it doesn't matter because the Orianna ball is on you, and you just flash alted into everybody, so you know you're gonna get the knock up, and you hope you don't die, but even if you do, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to see a lot of sick Jensen Orianna plays when semis rolls around.
Also, Orianna is incredibly broken still in this patch.
Oh, is she? I'm not a very
Yes,
good Orianna.
Yeah, no, she does some damage.
Yeah, I know.
Like, not something that should be allowed in solo queue, not something that should be allowed in professional games. Orianna should be professionally banned. Just like Yasuo's from playing
like
on my team.
Well, before we can get to Cloud9 playing, we have to go through the quarterfinals. This Saturday is Dignitas versus Phoenix 1, and then Sunday is FlyQuest versus CLG. Who do you guys think will win in these matches? What can you kind of expect, since this is the first time playing on the patch, and these teams coming back after a couple weeks of break?
I think probably what we're going to see is CLG probably taking it 3-1, I would say. And then I can't, unless P1 switches out their supports multiple times, I don't see P1 losing. But Dig can definitely do it.
They could get Anori back in though. They could get Anori back into play. We know how
Okay,
that worked when they did it in the last week.
They don't have. You have to have cohesion with a team, and I think trying to figure out which one of the two rookie supports you're going to go with. I don't know if Meteos is going to play. You don't know. Like, there's too many variables. So I think Dig actually takes it 3-2.
Okay.
I'd probably agree with you on the CLG one. Like, I'm trying to just go through the lanes and figure out where Fly would get their advantage. And I think, let's see, Darshan on a good day could bully out Balls. Balls is relatively consistent, so it really just depends on if Darshan's having a good day or not. Um, Moon Moon has had times where he out jungles like Smithy, and I think it's gonna be like the reverse of the Balls Darshan matchup there, where if Moon's having a good day, then he's going to out jungle like Smithy, where Smithy's normally relatively constant. Bot lane, Altec is relatively steady, but Stixay and Aphromoo are a monstrous bot lane, so I think that Altec is going to get bullied out and just has to try and stay relative there. And then the fun part is mid lane, because who knows what the fuck is going to happen when it's Hai versus Huhi. Like, both of them, like, it's so hard to tell what they're going to do, because Hai is gone from getting a pentakill on Bjergsen to looking like a boosted Bonobo, and Huhi will just pull out some random thing, so
give him that
that's
soul.
Gonna be...
I want to see him.
Yeah,
I want to see him on the Aurelion Soul. Because it honestly is like his best champion, and he looks like really good with it. Because he does some like crazy things that like he doesn't do on like any other champion. But I will say to his defense, Huki has looked a lot better than he did like last year. So I think the Fly CLG one's probably going to be the most exciting one, because Fly will maybe try to cheese them in the pick and ban phase a little bit, while CLG, they have some pocket picks, but they also are very good at playing as a team, and that can probably make for some really exciting games.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is FlyQuest, now that we've gone over the lanes, is I feel like the way they got a lot of their wins was they have a very decisive macro, so even if it's not correct, it might be odd, but they're very decisive in it, and it will force the other team to react. But a lot of the other teams didn't know how to react when FlyQuest was getting most of their wins. CLG has always been a team with amazing macro, and I think that they'll be able to play around FlyQuest's decisive shot calling with their... I want to say better shot calling. It kind of hurts me to say because of High and all, but CLG's macro play has always been on point.
Yeah, I agree. They're probably the best like 1-3-1 team in North America, because they know how to like really abuse pushing side lanes and doing all this other stuff that you need to make sure 1-3-1s can work effectively, and they play that to a T, I think. I didn't know where to really finish that thought. That's where I got it. That's where I went.
I think in terms of like that style, they really own it, but I don't think it's necessarily the best in the changing meta. Like, do you know what I mean by that?
Please. I was gonna ask for you to elaborate.
Especially when we're having team fighters buffed, I think it's going to be much easier to go in and just draft a team fight comp and beat the split push through other means. Like, Gnar can split push and then just TP and destroy a team fight.
Okay. I got you.
So, unless he learns how to use his TP better, I think it could be a problem.
Okay. What do you guys think the best and worst case scenarios for C9 when the semifinals finally come around? I think of course they have to be very diligent and not do what Immortals did last year, which is kind of slack off, underestimate your opponent, and then completely wasting your bye week by getting beaten by whatever team you're playing against.
Best case, CLG. Worst case, P1.
I think best case, Fly. Worst case, either CLG or P1. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, just given their last week performance against P1.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to put the team to, because their P1 game was really great. Um, I think that the best case scenario is Dig and FlyQuest winning. That way, Dig can play TSM because they're the lower seed, and we can play FlyQuest, who we have beaten, both times playing them in the regular season, and we 2-0'd them the most recent time we played against them. So I think that would probably be our best option. I'm not sure if we can beat CLG because we lost against them last time, but that might have been just because we underestimated them in a few ways. Because looking at the most recent CLG game that we played, games 1 and 3 we could have easily won, but we just made too many stupid mistakes and we just kind of let the game run away from us. But yeah,
I think our team looked a lot more solid in the last week. Also.
Yeah, that's also very true. Yeah, it's hard kind of gauging on how a team will play when they won't play for like 3 weeks. So you're kind of going with like, how do they play? What did they play recently? They look good recently. Okay, I guess we'll run with that.
Yeah. So my whole reasoning for why I think CLG is best case situation is because I think if we play FlyQuest, that puts us in a weird position because we're playing Balls, who I don't think Balls has ever dropped out of NALCS finals when he's been playing, because he got replaced by Impact when we dropped to 6th place, right? Or was that? I may be wrong on my timing. But I know.
No, that was the. No, I think that. Yeah, I think no, you're right, because that's when Hai came back in as jungle, right?
That's when High played a split of support. That's when we got 6th place.
Yeah,
I was thinking about the 7th place and the 7th place.
Like
got
every
the run.
time. Every time Balls had played in playoffs, he got to finals.
No, not
And same.
No, Impact
Gauntlet
wasn't
run.
on the team then. That was when High was playing support. It was Balls, Rush, Jensen, Sneaky, and High.
Okay. Well, then he still has a very good track record in playoffs. Just like High has a pretty good record in playoffs, and Lemon is the one who has always been to finals when he's been playing in playoff situations.
Okay. So you're thinking there's some kind of playoff buff that is
I think they do play a little bit better in the playoffs, and I also think that it could psych our team out playing against former teammates.
That's a good point.
And I guarantee that we've also shared a lot of scrim information. So
Yeah, that's also a good point. I didn't think of it that way before. Yeah, I can't think of anything more about playoffs other than speculation. Does anyone else have anything to add about playoffs?
I think we're good.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be fun. Tune in this weekend. It'll be great. So I think with our remaining time, gentlemen, we can do a little question time. So I guess I'll start things off. Where do you guys think TL and C9 would be if TL never let go of Smoothie?
Well, think about the supports who were open at that time.
I know we had Bunny.
Because we had Bunny, and Bunny was a good support, but Bunny didn't really fit the needs of the team. And then we could have gone... Trying to think back.
See, I want to say like Stunt and Sheep were probably also open.
Stunt, Sheep.
I don't know if Adrian had committed to Immortals by the point where we were looking for more for a new support.
Yeah, and I think We could have also gone with who was, because I believe, um, during that time we could have also picked up Hachani before he went to Vitality.
before he developed insomnia and started dying.
Um, don't think we could have just because of unless you wanted to swap out Jensen or Impact for Hichani.
Oh, I guess
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be a
that was the
worthwhile
same reason
trade.
we lost Rush and the import rule.
Yeah, that really throws a kink into it. Would you think that Team Liquid would play Smoothie at all, or would they just stick to Matt, considering Matt at that time at least looked like he really clicked with everyone on the Team Liquid roster?
I don't even think that it was that he clicked with them better. I think it was just a lot of people on Liquid like results. And in that meta, Matt was delivering results. So they chose to stick with Matt, hoping he'd be good.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that was when like Bard was really popular, and he was really good at Bard, I think.
And Smoothie was more of a tanky slash like he was a good contrast to Bunny.
Yeah. Because I remember when Smoothie, it was the whole Smoothie Bunny thing. Bunny would, I think Bunny would play like more like the tankier champions, while Smoothie would like play Karma and Nami and stuff.
Well, Bunny also played
I can't
some
remember that
uh
season too well. I got caught up in the Smoothie hype, and then I just paid attention to him more.
yeah, it was just a season of improvement, honestly. Cuz once we got into summer when Bunny was a sub, that's when we actually like turned it up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, man, that playoff run was still pretty awesome.
I was gonna say, I think when it was Bunny Smoothie, like Bunny was really good at Thresh, and that's when like the shield supportive mage meta was coming in. So that's like when Karma started being more popular. Janna, a little bit of Soraka if you were Adrian, and like it was that type of meta. And Bunny really wants to engage and go in and win the lane. Like that's what he wants to do, and especially with Sneaky, who's a pretty neutral laner. Like yeah, he definitely is aggressive in trades with like Lucian, but in general, he's a fairly neutral laner. So I just don't think him and Bunny meshed very well.
mhm.
All right, yeah, that's a fair point. Good points. Yeah, I'm answering this question myself. I'm not really sure. Uh, it would certainly be interesting though to see where Cloud9 would be if Smoothie had never gone to the team. Just to kind of see like where they would go in playoffs and such. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting hypothetical. Do you guys have any interesting questions? Anything crazy?
What have you ever heard the tale of Darth Mimios the Wise?
I I hear that tale is forbidden.
It's not a story the casters would tell you. It is said that he could protect himself from dying, but would kill others in the process. Whenever he got close to dying, he would split into 4 green blobs. It's funny. He could protect who he loved, but he only loved himself.
Such a compelling story. I,
The Darth Mimios the Wise is one of my favorite
it's a really
memes.
good meme. Did
And here we are, Bodied, the Prequel Memes podcast.
Body the Darth Plagueis meme cast, where we give you all the Darth.
You know, it's an off week when.
Oh, I have a question from C9 Caps. He, well, I guess we can't answer because by the time this goes up,
Well, Caps is in here. So.
yeah, he has this thing planned for I guess it'd be Thursday, tomorrow for us, but Thursday for everyone else. If you play with him, you could potentially win a skin. It's for like a little tiny tournament. People wants to be in it. He wants, or I guess he needs people, but
Drop his IG in.
yeah. Oh yeah, that'd actually be a good idea.
That would
And
be
then other than
Onyx
that, I think-
106 if you're looking to play some League.
And I believe his actual league name is C9 space Caps. And if you need to message him on Twitch, it's Onyx106. Shout out to him.
Yes, hello Caps.
He's a
He's
homeboy.
super cool.
Other than that, I believe this podcast is coming pretty close.
Yeah,
to
we're.
the end.
Ooh, I actually do have something that I remember it was interesting that came up this week. So, for those who like other esports, we're going to jump into that. There was a tweet from former C9 player Grego. He said, "For all those wondering, I was not offered a tryout on the new C9 squad. Would love to play with them, but new coach has other ideas." So, there is now this rumor that Cloud9 Overwatch is having an open tryout, or not an open tryout, a closed tryout, seeing as how it's a rumor that people haven't heard of. And I'm really kind of curious about this because I thought the team was doing pretty well and meshing pretty well, but if they're doing some sort of tryout, that's pretty interesting. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
They could be looking for a sub.
I actually saw that tweet. I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, I thought that the current Overwatch roster was doing all right. I mean, you know, you have Grego and Gods, and was Kai Kai still on the team? They keep shifting some people out, and it's hard to keep it straight. But yeah, I think the current iteration, at least up until this point, I think they were doing all right. It seems kind of weird that Grego would leave, especially because he seemed to be like a really good support player.
I don't know. It's super interesting. I think if we hear news about it, it'll probably be, I would assume, in the next week or two, because we haven't seen C9 at any tournaments in quite a while. So
Yeah, they're Overwatch and H1Z1 has not played for like H1Z1 hasn't played at all, I think, which is also really weird, considering we got the team and then we're just not doing anything with it. I'm not sure if there's like a season that has yet to start, or there's just no tournaments right now, or what.
not exactly sure. H1Z1, I don't really understand it as an esport. I haven't done the research.
Yeah, me neither. It sounds like a cool game though. I would definitely try it out.
Alright, I do have to say, like, watching Players Unknown Battleground, I'm not quite sure what the difference between that and the H1Z1 survival mode is. Like, they look like basically the same game.
Yeah, because Sneaky was playing it with Reaper for a little bit, and they were playing that, and it's just like, this looks like H1Z1. Yeah, that's what I thought he was actually going to be playing, and then it turned out to be that Battlegrounds thing. Well, I think this podcast is running on fumes. It's a little late. Don't have really a lot to talk about, so
We miss our boy Frozen.
we miss Frozen. He was clearly the glue that held the show together. And
The one with the nice new mic.
I think this was a productive show, though.
yeah, we talked about production, the promotion tournament. Talked about a little bit about playoffs.
Playoff
Yeah,
predictions.
It's all right for a slow news week, I should say. We mentioned Cloud9's big victories over the weekend. Always important news. So,
Also, one thing we did not mention, and I don't know if we mentioned this last week, Forsen is now a C9 streamer.
was that just an April 1st joke, or was that actual news? I couldn't tell.
I believe he's actually streaming under the C9
Okay, well,
I'll have to
yeah,
check
I wasn't
that.
because they tweeted it out, and I'm like, I can't tell if this is an April Fool's joke or not. Because they did it on April 1st, which I'm not sure if that was.
They actually did it on March 31st,
Oh, okay.
and I'm not sure, but
Force and Lol, if you go on Cloud9's page on Twitch, is he's streaming under Cloud9 according to Twitch.
Okay.
Well,
then that pretty
you've
much
heard it
settles
here
it.
first, folks. Forsen's a streamer for Cloud9. We broke the story. Investigative journalism at its finest.
We're the new Wall
Exactly.
Street Journal at this pace.
Eventually, we'll be taking down YouTubers. Topical.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, I guess what are your guys' predictions for the? Let's do playoffs in general, since make it a little spicier. What's your guys' prediction for playoffs?
TSM versus C9. C9 wins 3-1.
I like it. Pi, what about you?
I like that a lot. But I'm still hoping there's that 99 or that 0.0001% chance that we get Cloud9 blue, Cloud9 white in the finals.
That would be.
And I'm ready
What
for
about
it.
Cloud9 blue versus Cloud9 orange?
Ooh.
Or no, wait. We can't have that because P1's third place. So no matter what, if they win, we'd have to play them.
It's either.
Well, if we're going...
Well, what about this? We play C9 orange in the semis, and then in the finals we play C9 white.
Yeah, it would be just like an
Beautiful.
anime where we have to fight all of our friends. It'd be so anime. It'd be great.
Sugoi!
Sugoi! Senpai!
Nani?
Nani. I'm probably gonna say I'm hoping for a Cloud9 TSM finals. I just want to see that go to 5 games. As long as it can go to 5 games, and that means that both teams have a pretty equal shot at winning. And at that point, I can be completely satisfied. Because at that point, it's just, well, the best team won. Because it went to all 5 games, and at that point, we just have to let the chips fall where they may. So that's what I'm hoping for.
That's pretty good hopes.
Also, moving along to the moment of the week, I'm going to give mine first, because I feel very strongly about it. Rockhat Gaming beat G2 in their last match of the EULCS. They went from 0-7 to beating team after team after team, culminating, you guys, to beating G2 after like a year-long undefeated streak in the regular season. And they did it. I believed in them. Everyone believed, and they did it. And then Misfits fuck it up.
Wait. My moment of the week is the Fnatic script.
Oh,
where
that pissed me off
where
so
Fnatic
much.
slumped the entire end of the season and still make it
I swear
into
to God,
playoffs.
I was so pissed when that match ended. Misfits completely dropped the fucking ball in that series.
Also, shout out to Origin for not winning a single series.
They could probably get relegated. I don't see them winning at all of that.
Like Envy was last place in NALCS, but they still had that strong early game upside. Origin's upside is that Xpeke's I guess he's an attractive male. So
yeah, they got Pekka. He's pretty.
Yeah. See where that takes them.
Well,
Nahyun isn't completely winless anymore. He has 2 under his belt.
I'm kind of upset they broke that meme too. I was hoping he'd go the whole.
But I think I think Fnatic Academy and Misfits Academy are both so much better than Origin and Giants. I don't know. I think they're both gonna get whooped.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Fnatic and Misfits probably have more money too, so they can probably actually use better resources. But yeah, my moment of the week was Rockhat. I'm now actually a fan of them. I was never an EULCS fan, but after that win against G2, I'm a Rocket fan now. I have to be.
Would you say you're Team Rocket?
Yes. And we're blasting off.
Blasting off again.
Blasting off into the summer to win it all. I can feel it in my bones.
Can't wait.
All right. Oh, Pi, you didn't give your moment of the week.
I mean, I share mine with yours. I love seeing G2 lose. The storyline was perfect. They started their win streak against Roccat. And then there's Roccat Guy on Reddit. If you ever feel like listening to a Cloud9 podcast, I hope you hear this shout out because you're amazing.
Yeah, Rocket Reddit guy. He's the real MVP of the split, for sure. All right, well, we're sleepy. We ran out of things to talk about. We're desperately waiting for playoffs to happen. But we got through this episode, so thank you for listening to the 32nd episode of Bodied the Cloud9 Fancast. Feel free to tweet questions and feedback to @C9Bodied or email us at bodiedfancast@gmail.com. We'll answer questions on the next podcast, so get them all in. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.